everyone. As you guys know, probably if you follow my Instagram and if you follow my Facebook and my Twitter, how much I love food and I love to eat. And so therefore I'm really into making desserts and really healthy foods that taste good and that my friends will eat, but also have little nutritional punches in there. So today I thought it'd be really fun to start with something super easy and super simple and also really affordable, because again, as a teenager it's hard to find expensive high-end ingredients at your Whole Foods or things like that. So today I decided to make you guys Karlie's cookies, which is one of my favorite foods in the absolute entire world. Karlie's Cookies is a collaboration between the supermodel Karlie Kloss and Momofuku Milk Bar in New York City, and it's really great because Karlie decided to come up with a cookie that's really healthy for you and has some really nutritional ingredients, but also gives back to charity and gives back to the world, which is really cool to see a supermodel doing. And so I have recreated the recipe. If you go to Momofuku Milk Bar in East Village, or there's a few other places in New York that you can buy the cookies, they are like 3 for $22, which is kind of ridiculous, and every time I go in there I can only afford one because one is like $5, something crazy like that. Of course I have to start with chocolate, because if you follow my Instagram page, which if you don't you should because it's Alexa_Curtis, you know how much I love chocolate. I am a chocolate fanatic. I could eat chocolate every day for the rest of my life. And one of my favorite brands of chocolate is these Enjoy Life chocolate chips, and the bag is half gone, as you can see, because sometimes I kind of crave chocolate at night and I will just eat these with like whipped cream or something stupid like that. But I really like Enjoy Life because number one, there's only 3 ingredients, I believe, and the ingredients really aren't that bad for you. And again, they're dairy-free and vegan and gluten-free and paleo. A lot of paleo people, use these. So if you're on a diet or you're looking to really just be a little bit healthier, these are a great option. One of the things that I use to bind with these is gluten-free oats, which you can find at Stop and Shop, which I usually buy these at, or Walmart sometimes has them, and another place that always has them is Ocean State Job Lot. I don't know if they have those around the world, but they have them in Connecticut. The second food that we have to bind, which you can also make yourself, but I think it's easier to skip that and just buy it, is almond flour. And yes, there is a difference between almond meal and almond flour. I guess one of them is ground up and one of them has the pieces. I don't really care, so buy whatever one that you can find. Again, I buy this at Ocean State Job Lot, so it's really cheap. But you can find it at any grocery store that you want to go. And you can also make it by just grounding up like a cup of almonds or 2 cups of almonds in a food processor or high-speed blender. The other ingredients that we have are some vanilla, which I'm ashamed to say is not a high-end brand of vanilla because I've not had time to go and buy a nicer brand of vanilla at my local food kind of co-op organic place. So I just have some simple vanilla from the grocery store, but I would always recommend getting really nice vanilla because it definitely makes a difference. I have some local maple syrup. I think mine is from like Ashford, Connecticut. If you don't have maple syrup, you can use honey like this, or you can use agave or brown rice syrup. Dates probably won't work, but stevia, cane sugar, that will work. I just really like maple syrup because it's super healthy and it tastes so good. I love that rich, earthy flavor. So preheat your oven to 325 degrees. You also want to start with the dry ingredients first because that's the way to bind it all. So you do the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients, and then you throw it all together and it makes some really delicious cookies. So I'm going to start with 2 cups of almond flour, which you can see here. And I'm just going to throw it into this huge big mixing bowl. And then I'm going to take 1 cup of my gluten-free cooking oats. And a lot of different recipes that I've seen kind of say gluten-free cooking oats, quick cooking oats, shredded oats. You just want to get any oats. It honestly really doesn't matter whether it's cooking oats or not cooking oats. If you want to just use regular, plain, simple Quaker oats, those work perfectly fine as well. So I've just got the gluten-free ones again because I am allergic to gluten, so I try to opt for gluten-free items as much as I can. So we're going to take 1 cup of the oats, which is right here. We're going to throw that in this bowl, like that. A little teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to throw all the wet ingredients in there, which is probably not the best thing to do, but I got it super easy and it comes out the exact same. So we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and you'll see a lot of recipes always say to go small in vanilla, but I absolutely love vanilla. It's one of my favorite flavors in the entire world probably, so I'm always a go big or go home, and I would always say, oh, this is already open. Start with 1 tablespoon. I would probably go above that, but it's like the best food ever. So I just put 1 tablespoon and I kind of just eye it until I feel like I'm done. And so I put those in there. And then we're going to do just a little pinch of baking soda. If you need to measure it, I would take one of your measuring cups. and measure it in, but I'm kind of lazy, so I just squirt it in again. We're gonna have, I have one of my favorite brands of cinnamon here, which I get at Stop and Shop, I believe, and it's by Spice Island. And we just put a little pinch of that in, and again, cinnamon is another one of my favorite flavors, so I put a ton of cinnamon in all my recipes, and it comes out absolutely great. Okay, so what we want to do now is we just want to mix all that together. I'm going to just take 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and this recipe does not call for butter because again it is gluten-free and vegan. So I use coconut oil as a really great oil to cook with, so if I'm making chicken or fish or something, I'll fry coconut oil in it. But then I also use coconut oil to make a lot of my desserts. Take 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. I'm a huge coconut oil fan, so sometimes I take a little bit more, but you can see it there. And I'm just going to put that into the bowl. Cup of olive oil and throw that in there. Try and get the highest quality olive oil you can. If you can, get extra virgin olive oil because that is the best form and the purest form of it. But it's super easy to buy, so take me to Walmart or Stop and Shop or BJ's again. Another optional ingredient that I have that I love is almond butter. This recipe does not call for almond butter, but I'm a huge fan of nut butters and I love the flavor that almond butter or peanut butter packs, so I always throw that in. And now I'm just going to pour about 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup here. And if you over pour, that's okay. Maple syrup is so good for you. And then I just throw that right into the bowl and you get this really earthy brown color, and I love that color because it just signals earth and fall, even though it's not fall, it's summer, but why not have maple syrup all year round, especially if fall is your favorite season like mine is. And we're going to take my favorite Enjoy Life chocolate chips, and I just kind of eye it depending on what you want to do, but usually I'll just throw like a bunch of them in there, and there wasn't really that much left in this bag. And what you're going to do is you're really just going to mix it all up until it's all chunky and put together. And the thing I love about cooking vegan food, though I am mostly paleo, so I do a lot of meat and I do a lot of fish and stuff like that, and I definitely use eggs in a lot of my recipes. But the one thing I really do recommend about cooking vegan is the fact that you can taste your food. So you're not having cookie dough that has eggs in it and can give you salmonella. You're making delicious cookies that you can eat while you're doing. So I can just take a little. So good. It's so sweet from the maple syrup, but it's also got this delicious flavor. So now what I've laid out is my baking sheet, and I usually just use wax paper or parchment paper, which you can put in the oven, I believe. And I can grease it a little bit if you want, or you could even take some of the extra coconut oil that you didn't use and just put that over the bottom. So now that we've got our cookies all binded up, you're going to take 1 tablespoon, just like this, and you're going to really go, here, let me take this spoon out. It's so sticky, which is so delicious, and I love it. It almost makes me just want to sit and eat the batter. So what I'm going to do is you're just going to take 1 tablespoon like this, you see, and you're going to put it in your hand. You use your hands and you're going to put it into a little ball, and then you're just going to mash it down like this, so you should be able to see. And also, if you're looking to make a completely raw option, which I don't usually do, I'm not really into raw food as much as I am to just vegan or paleo food, because a lot of raw food can kind of upset my stomach. But if you are raw and you're looking to make these raw, just make this and then stick them straight in the freezer, and I would say freeze for about like 30 to 45 minutes. And I'm going to stick them in the oven. So I'm going to take my cookies, stick them in the oven. There you have it, some great gluten-free, paleo-friendly to some people if you do use oats in your diet. Otherwise, just double up on the almond flour or possibly coconut flour would work, though I have not tried it. And vegan treats, you can eat the cookie dough, you can make it raw and just put them in the freezer, or you can just do it the simple way and put them in the oven for approximately 12 minutes. Some ovens might only do 6 to 8. So about the 6 o'clock mark, I would just watch it. You want them to lightly brown on the top, but you don't want them to burn. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any recipes that you want me to do, look in the comments below and just comment anything. I will make anything that you guys want. And you can also check out my blog, which is www.lifeinthefashionlane.com. Or you can go onto my Instagram and my Twitter, which is Alexa_Curtis, and tweet me what you want or what you want to see on this channel. But okay, thank you guys for watching. Happy eating!